is incredible. Well, the sound from anything, from anywhere comes and creates a wave out for you. Well, we are at Style with the group Houdini, who can play exotic instruments with names that you and I wouldn't have even heard of. Let's find out from them.
The sound is surreal. It's very psychedelic. It's very trippy, and to be very honest.
Hi, thank you. Welcome on our show. We already covered like 3 bands now, and we thought the division was either the alternate rock or the division of fusion band, and suddenly what we get to see in Coimbatore is an artist group that plays exotic instruments. So what is your group name Houdini all about?
Thank you for having us on the show. This is Houdini, Charu and Leon. And we deal with exotic instruments. Exotic instruments per se, instruments that are pretty much out of this world. And the reason why we do exotic instruments is because in our research with music, we found out that a lot of people, aspiring musicians, students, children, people of any age, are all into either the keyboard, the guitar, or the drums. And we are trying to educate people that there's more to music than the keyboard, the guitar and the drums. So that is why we are still into this form of research. And now we have mastered certain instruments like the Australian didgeridoo, which is supposed to be the world's first wind instrument, because there is evidence in a lot of caves in Australia that shows Aboriginal people playing this instrument. So it is a very earthly instrument which has a lot of connection to our ancient ancestors, maybe from the beginning of mankind itself.
And what is the story behind you learning these instruments? Like, how did you learn? Where did you learn? Because you don't have instructors in Coimbatore for that matter.
I do get this question a lot actually, like from where did you learn these instruments? How did you bring these instruments into this country and all that stuff? Okay, coming to how, where and what. I'm a musician from a kid. I come from a musical background. My brother is a vocalist. My grandmother used to be a violinist. And I guess somewhere down the line, it's been in the blood, music has been there. But the only instrument that I pretty much learned the right way was the guitar. Being a musician, it's still not enough. You're not satisfied. You just keep wanting more and more. So that's when the research came. Okay, now these are the instruments that are available in the market. So these are the instruments, and it's not enough. So I started getting into instruments that nobody has heard of, or probably nobody has even played or even seen. So that's when my intense research on the instruments that came from mankind. So the first instrument that came to me was the didgeridoo. So nobody has heard of it. The name sounds so funny, and when I started playing the didgeridoo, probably I brought it down from Australia, and it took me months and months and months to get a tune on it. So this is the Australian Aboriginal didgeridoo, and it looks like a piece of wood with a lot of dots on it, but it's got a lot of intricate artwork, which is the Aboriginal dot work. This is their style of art, and it's nothing but a piece of eucalyptus tree. It's from a eucalyptus tree, and it's hollow in the center.
Okay.
And how you get it to be hollow is when the termites eat through it. So around 50 to 60 eucalyptus trees, you get around 1 or 2 didgeridoos. And the Aboriginal tribal people, they go tapping on each tree to check whether the tree is hollow or not. So it's not an easy instrument. It's not an instrument that you can just make, or it's not an instrument that you can just get it out of the jungle. It takes time. Mother Nature has to give it to you. But when you really start playing on it, the sound is surreal. Okay, it's very psychedelic, it's very trippy, and to be very honest. So this instrument is usually played by a lot of men in Australia, and you don't have the Aboriginal women playing this instrument because it's a very sacred instrument. They don't usually let the ladies of the tribe even touch this instrument. But yes, over the years, this instrument is getting very famous, and Charu is one of the few ladies who I know who could really play the didgeridoo, because not many of them do. I'm sure any musician would agree with what I'm saying, that no digital media or nothing from a computer can really replicate 100% the same tone or the same note of an instrument that is made out of wood, or probably metal or something. Nothing gives you the feel of a person playing it. It's good for your soul, it's good for the music, it's good for the instrument, it's good for the people who are also listening to it.
So you are a vocal singer and had taken part in the Airtel Super Singers. So what is your connection to Houdini, and how does this blend work?
Basically, I'm a singer. My great-grandmother is a Carnatic musician. My mom used to be a veena player.
Okay.
And my uncle was a tabla player. And music was naturally in my family. So right from my childhood, I've been learning Carnatic music. I have 8 to 9 years of learning experience in traditional music. And after that, once I got into my college, I started doing my own research. What I can do more in music, how can I improve my vocal skills, how can I create my own platform. Then I found this instrument. It's kazoo. I call it as a singer-friendly instrument because one who sings well can play this very well.
Okay.
It's basically nothing but a tube-like instrument which just have a plastic paper on the diaphragm and through which you play. And this is how it sounds. It sounds like Nadaswaram.
See, the whole motive is to get people to know that music is not a difficult thing. Like people say, it's very difficult. It takes months, it takes years of practice, which is not true. If you have the passion for music, anything is easy. So most of the instruments that we learned is all self-taught. And we've learned a lot from the internet as well. So you don't really need a master per se. There are thousands and thousands of instruments that are out there, but you're just not going to know if you don't do any research about it. So for example, if I want to bring in the sound of a bird, I have a bird whistle, which is another instrument there. Don't stick to one genre of music, you know, holding a guitar, playing a keyboard. It's not the only things. There are so many other things. So that's what we are trying to tell people. Please do some research. And anyone who's into music, we are always there to help. Any music lover, it's our duty to teach. Otherwise, I'll be doing injustice to my soul. We surprise people. We try to make them understand that, you see, this is an instrument that I'm holding. It's not a toy. So that's what we do. You know?
Thank you so much for giving us a deeper insight into music. Well, where we stop thinking about instruments which we already know, there comes a whole new range that you have just brought about to us. We wish you all the luck in your career.
We'd like to thank Simplicity for giving us this opportunity to bring out these instruments to show the people around that this is there, we exist, we are doing this, and thanks a lot. Thanks again.
Thank you.